Ms. Marissa Mack, Chair of Economic Development and Culture Committee for Community Board 11. Happy Wednesday. Thank you all for being with us. I guess we can call this meeting to order at 6:39 p.m. Angel, if you could please move along to the next slide so we can get started, that would be great. Thank you. So before we get started, no one may speak until the floor. CB11 members, if you have a question about board business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand through Zoom. If you click the participant icon, the participant panel should appear and you should find the raise hand function there. If you still have technical difficulties, you may click the chat icon and relay your difficulty to the staff. Board members, the chat function should not be used for CB11 business or questions about agenda topics. All such remarks should be made on the record by raising your hand through Zoom. Chat should only be used to alert us to any technical difficulties you are having or to state in writing information like an email address that was already stated aloud on the record during the meeting. Please keep your questions and comments distinct and germane to the discussion. Members of the public, if you have a question or comment about the subject on the agenda, please raise your hand through Zoom and wait to be recognized. So again, I'm going to call this meeting to order, actually starting at 6:39 p.m. Angel, if you could please do the roll call.
Certainly. Adem Briha. James Horton. Marissa Mack.
Present.
Giselle Malave.
Present.
Jennifer Meyer.
Present.
Robert Perez.
Present.
Vinny Torres.
Oh, I'm on.
Jenny Tromsky.
Jenny is on, so I'm not sure if they're
Here, yeah, sorry, can you hear me?
yes. Thank you, Jenny. And Vinny is on too.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you, Vinny. Okay.
You have quorum.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Angel. So if there are no objections, I'd like to adopt the agenda that was sent out previously to the members of the committee. If there are any objections, please raise your hand. Okay, seeing no objections, we will adopt the existing agenda. We do have 2 minutes that are outstanding. We have March and April, otherwise we are up to date. Those will be forthcoming. So we will vote on those at the next meeting. Thank you all for your patience with our minutes. Angel, if you can move to the next slide. Okay, did you want to make the announcement, Angel?
Sure. Just sharing an event notification with all. El Museo del Barrio is hosting its Super Sábado Celebrate El Barrio free community event on Saturday, May 21st from 12 to 5. All are invited for a full day of in-person activities celebrating the arts and culture of El Barrio, inspired by the current exhibition Rafael Montañez Ortiz, A Contextual Perspective, honoring the founder of El Museo by celebrating the community that is home to the museum. A block party will follow by a concert at 4 p.m. at El Museo's El Teatro, featuring Grammy Award-winning musician David Sanchez, presented in collaboration with Carnegie Hall Citywide. More event information is available on the elmuseo.org website.
Thank you, Angel. Thank you for sharing that information. So moving along in the agenda, I just have a couple of updates to share with you. One, the 1 East 25th Street project is coming along. They were slated to have a ribbon cutting, but actually had to postpone that. And so we should be getting information soon as to when the next posted date will be for the ribbon cutting ceremony. But local hiring is underway. The Caribbean Cultural Center has signed their lease, so they will be in there, which is amazing. And then they have also continued their efforts in terms of local hiring for the commercial space and the grocery store that will be on the bottom floor of that development. So very proud of the work that they're doing, the 360 partnership. Stephen Hayes has been great in terms of keeping in communication with us about what's going on with the project, and also to how we as board members and then also as community members can be engaged. So I will have a follow-up conversation with him before June about the artist portion of the development, working with Caribbean Cultural Center and what that looks like for our community. So again, just really happy with the 360 partnership that we have with them and their ability to communicate with us what's going on. Outside of that, Classical Theater of Harlem, again, we have been speaking with them in the window of communication about some of the efforts that they are making in terms of engaging with our community this year. Is really awesome. They did do a pop-up shop last year at their event in Central Park, and their performance in Central Park, but they have opened it up this year, which is amazing. So there will be vendors from both East and West Harlem, which is great, which opens up not only the ability for more people to be involved and make money, but then obviously another way for them to also market what Classical Theater of Harlem is doing and the performances that they will be putting on throughout the month of July. Also wanting to note that they are going to be working with summer youth, which is amazing. And so they will be funneling their youth through Union Settlement. And so that's something that we've been discussing. They also have a few other jobs for community members. So again, another way through discussions with our board, through our members, and with them as well and their ideas. Just this whole synergy of working together and thinking about different ways to partner within the community is really coming to fruition. So just wanted to give a hats off to them, the work that they're doing and their commitment to seeing that they are impacting our community in a number of different ways. I'm sure Carrie, oh, actually she's not on, but we are actually co-hosting with Uptown Grand Central, Diana's office, Department of Health, a rat academy, really unfortunately talking about you know, what the city is doing right now as it relates to the rat issue that we have, you know, how businesses and residents can kind of ward themselves of the rat situation that we have here in the city, and that's coming up this week. And then also two other things, just quickly, I also had a great conversation with Joseph O'Donnell from the MTA in regards to the engagement around the 2nd Avenue subway and what we're doing there as it relates to jobs, as it relates to suppliers, diversity, when it comes to players that are at the table for some of the construction jobs and some of the contracts that are coming out. And so just had a very fruitful conversation with him about that. As a board, we will also be putting together a task force. I know that that is underway. Xavier has already started to speak about that. Jennifer Meyer will serve as a representative from our committee on that task force. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And that is something that we are going to be working with the MTA on, but more or less like leading the charge to ensure that the stakeholders within this community are getting what they need in turn, that the MTA is able to service their goals in getting the finished product done, which is the 2nd Avenue subway. So those are my direct updates. Oh, sorry, just one more update that I feel is extremely important and we will discuss more in June. I did have a conversation with Stacey Marius, who is with Inez Dickens' office about a bill that they are looking to put forward. They have actually come to full board to speak about this bill, which will more or less streamline the number of social services within a particular area of the city. The bill has been presented, but there is room to kind of amend and possibly format it in a different way. But I think that this is something that we need to kind of look at and push a little bit more, especially because of the state of 125th Street and just our area in general. I'm kind of shocked that we don't have more elected officials pushing for this bill and or proposing their own bill. But that's another topic of conversation. But either way, I think in June, we will have a more fruitful conversation on this bill, the ways that we can support it. And, you know, I don't really think I need to explain why it's important for this community, but a little bit more conversation and color around the needs for us to support this and see how we can back this bill. So any questions quickly on information that I just shared? And again, please feel free to raise your hand if you do have any questions. Okay, great, seeing none. We are going to move on. I don't know, it's Wednesday. So I don't think Carrie is here to represent. I know she is out and about. Angel, did you want to say something?
No, just to say that Carrie can't make it. She has the farmer's market right now.
Yes, yes, okay, that I'm very aware, so thank you. But again, we are, you know, again, we are co-hosting with them the Rad Academy that's coming up, and that information has been shared throughout the board. If you want more information, please feel free to reach out to Angel about that. So moving on to Union Settlement. Is anyone on from Union Settlement? I know Jackie has moved on, so, and I don't see Pablo. Okay, so we are moving along in the agenda. Solange, are you on? Okay, we're moving right along. I was hoping to hear from Solange, who is the property manager at East River Plaza. Her and I have been in conversations about, you know, some of the activity that is going on there, not only as it relates to the businesses, but also Instacart as well. And so hoping that either she will join later on or join us in June. But there's a lot of information that needs to be shared in regards to the East River Plaza and what's going on in that area. So moving along, I do see Carmen, and I'm very happy to have you here with us to present. And not sure if you're ready, Carmen. I see that you're on.
Yes.
Yes,
Good evening,
hi.
everyone.
How are you? So
I'm sorry.
Angel, I guess if you could move back in the slideshow.
Oh, we do have Solange. Hold on. Sorry. Bring back on. I thought you would jump to Carmen.
Oh, yeah. No, I was. Oh, okay. Are you giving her control now?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. All right. Great. Hi, Carmen. How are you? Nice to see you.
I'm doing great. Great to see everyone here. Great to see you, Melissa.
Yes.
I am going to start sharing my presentation. Okay. Okay. Sorry, this is the first one. Can everyone see this? Let's see.
And before you get started, Carmen, if you could just tell us a little bit about what the ask is, and then go into your presentation, that would be extremely helpful.
Sure. So, good evening. My presentation is about a mural, a crochet mural that has been in the works for a couple of months, and it's the participation in it was about pretty intense. And my first thought of it, I wanted to do something for the Puerto Rican Festival and El Barrio, as you know, in June 11th this year. I felt like we wanted to do something representing the Puerto Rican community, Puerto Rican pride. And so there was a conversation in the yarn community to bring up Sonia Sotomayor, to create her as a crochet mural project. And everyone was very excited about it. I put a call out for fiber artists I received a lot of feedback, a lot of people wanting to participate. About 90 people were able to put these panels together. And with the support of friends of the Espina and El Barrio Art Space, we were able to create a 20-foot mural of Sonia Sotomayor. And it was really something to see. Never seen this before, but the initiative was to bring community together using the fiber community, ages from 9 to 86. So it was an intergenerational project, and it's, how can I say, it's a beautiful thing to put together. And so we would like to celebrate it on June 1st at Cherry Tree Park, which is located between 99th Street, between 3rd and 2nd Avenue. And the presentation is to show you the breakdown on how it happened and what it took to get it to this point. And and I would like to invite everyone to come and take a look at it. And what's the best part about this is that when the artists created these panels, they had no idea who they were creating. It was a surprise, 100%. You guys are the first ones to know who exactly what we're creating. And it's a really nice thing to see that come together. So the community crochet mural I have here, it's um, a digital art that my husband created, and I thought it was such a beautiful reflection of Puerto Rican pride. And I feel like Sonia Sotomayor, she comes from a community just like ours and worked so hard to get where she is right now, and so humbling and so beautiful of her to be who she is. And we I feel like she wasn't celebrated enough, and a lot of people agreed to that. So this is why another reason why we created her. The community engagement, this is how it would look on the part. And Sonia Sotomayor is Associate Judge of the Supreme Court of the United States. She was nominated by the President Obama, Barack Obama, on May 26, 2019. I didn't know that. And I felt like it was so important for the Puerto Rican community to represent that, to be able to be like, oh, yeah, this is something beautiful to, uh, and something different from just a painting mural, a crochet mural. And she's the first Latina Supreme Court judge. And so in the bottom here is just, this is a collaboration of crochet artists around the world, from Europe to Mexico, Santo Domingo, all around the US. Women, men participated here in the barrio too, that either were created a yellow panel or a very detailed panel. El Barrio Art Space helped me with having the space to create something so large. And friend of the Espina also pushed this with the Parks Department to get the permit to be able to get this together and to make this happen. Here, as it started, how it happened, this is a digital uh, art. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. A digital design mural created from a crochet grid panel so that participants can work on it on each section remotely. Um, so we had throughout the months several Zoom calls, even little group meetings, to be able to help people that don't know how to crochet, wanting to be a part of something so large and so big. Um, Children as young as 10 years old, boys and girls, creating these very simple patterns to come together with all ages to be a part of something so big and beautiful. And And this is just a reflection on how much packaging I got throughout the time of delivering all this mail, putting it together, meeting with the women, because of, you know, them being in different places. Zoom was very helpful. And that's how big it is. And that's my mother-in-law in the corner. Um, she's so tiny compared to how big the mural is. And the pieces,
I didn't
putting it
even
together,
see her. I'm looking and I'm like, where? I don't see a person. And I thought, oh
she
my gosh,
blends
I
in
can't.
very well.
Yeah.
So this is a space that El Barrio Art Space had very much helped me with, trying to coordinate. As you know, like, you know, even though I'm very blessed to be where I live, it's not enough space to have this in my living room. But it's about 120 panels, 2 feet by 16 inches. And we were able to connect them. It took us 4 weeks, just me and her, but we did it. And so we would like to celebrate it on June 11th, as a big unveiling. And it'll be a nice surprise to see everybody's reaction on who we created. And that's it. Thank you.
Carmen, this is amazing. I'm looking and it's interesting to see because looking at it, you know, up on the gate and then looking at it to scale, right? In respect to your mom, I couldn't believe that that was the size of it. So I am so in awe of the vision for this one, and then being able to put it together. And then actually the fact that it's going to be an unveiling for everybody that worked on it, I think that's really the special part of it, because you're really looking at yourself as being like a part of something that's even bigger. And that's, I mean, that's really, that's existence, right? That's living, that you are a part of something that's even bigger. So your vision on this was amazing, and timing is perfect too. I would love to be there. You know, I don't know if you're going to have a limited number of people that will be there, you know, because of COVID or what have you, but would love to attend. Is there anything that you need from us? Will you have anything, I guess, about the unveiling of this and what it will be, or how can we help in that?
I would love a level of support, and everyone is invited. It's in an open space community. It's right next to El Barrio Art Space. It's the little area in Cherry Tree Park. Very open, very just. I would love to have, we could go. We're gonna have music. We're gonna have support with El Barrio Space to create an event for this, because I don't, something like this I haven't done, and I would, you know, love to introduce it to everyone to be able to see how it really looks in person, because it looks amazing to me. Yeah, and it's all about the support in the community, how special this woman is to our community and to young girls growing up in our generation. That it's a beautiful vision for it.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm still just I'm looking at this and looking at your mom and looking at the pieces that it took to put this together. And this is just so amazing. But a little bit of background for everyone that's on the call. Carmen was actually the first artist to do the gate. We have 3 gates in my building. We have spaces, and she did the painting of our first gate as a paid artist in the community. So I already know her talent. I already know she's talented, her and her husband. So very happy to see this. And if you have a flyer, I would say that you're able to maybe give to us, that we could circulate about the unveiling, that would be helpful and would draw some other people from the community out. So yeah. Giselle.
Oh, definitely. I would definitely get a flyer together. I just didn't know what else to, how to present this. It was my first time actually
You
going
did
through the
great.
process of, you know, a lot of back and forth. Thank you. I appreciate that. And also with Friends of Espina, they've been helping me so much with building these community crochet murals, and they have commissioned me to work with them with the waterfront to create a beautiful mural for them. And it's coming up in September also, where it's gonna have a lot of culture in it, a lot of introducing the community to new things, especially in that area. And I'm excited to get started.
I'm excited for you. I'm going to take a few questions. Giselle, I see your hand.
Thank you. I just, want to also extend my congratulations. This is a beautiful piece. I love how you put first the piece by piece on one side and then the finished product together. I've never seen anything like that. It's very pretty. And I think that the June 11th is also, because of it being Puerto Rican Day Festival, it would be a great day. I think everyone's going to be able to participate that day, regardless, because the festival will be going on. So congrats, and I hope to attend. Thank you.
Thank you, Giselle. Thank you so much. Tamika?
Yes, I just want to say it's so beautiful. And how can the community get more involved in crocheting? Because I'm a crocheter and I didn't have no idea that we have this in the community.
I'm happy to answer that. Uptown Grand Central, we collaborate so many times with having the community get involved with crocheting. It's good for mental health. It's good to get involved, and especially like making pieces with your community and teaching the next one that wants to learn. We'll be hosting crocheting during the weekends. I believe it's going to be on Sundays. But I would have to just confirm with Carrie, who's in charge of that. She will let me know. But it was last year. It was a great success. We had crochet in the community, and so many people got involved. We made a huge butterfly out of little square triangles, all types of shapes, and people were able to see what comes out from little tiny pieces, the little things that they can make, and turns out to be something huge.
Carmen, is that the butterfly on Lexington Avenue? Is that your? Yeah.
Yes.
Or is the one on Pleasant?
The one on Pleasant and 119.
Yeah.
I think it is 120th. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Tamika, does that answer your question? I guess, Carmen, when you have the information, if you could share it out, that would be helpful too.
Yeah, that answered my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I see one other hand, Jean. Oh. Jean?
Okay. Hello. Can you see me or can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm the new executive director of Friends of the East River Esplanade. Esplanade Friends has commissioned Carmen to do a outdoor waterfront mural that will be unveiled in September. So once the Sonia Sotomayor is out there, she's going to start working on a mural that will potentially have 8 panels. We're discussing it at 99th Street and the Esplanade where the fencing is. And yeah, and this would be to celebrate the East Harlem neighborhood and the waterfront and the El Barrio fishermen, as well as, other cultural aspects of the neighborhood. But I just wanted to say that we are completely in support of Carmen, so inspired, so impressed with her work, just bringing crocheting, community, the waterfront, and all aspects together that, we're really proud to be part of this. So, so I ask everybody else to as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. Sorry, thank you so much, Carmen. Xavier?
Evening. I just want to say thank you to Carmen for coming to present and also bringing this to our attention. It was a very pleasant surprise to find out about this well-kept secret, but I guess the cat's out of the bag now because this is just, I conceptualized it, but I'm seeing it now, and it's it's going to be gorgeous. So thank you for all the effort that you put into this, as well as all the participants. I mean, it's a gargantuan effort to brighten and lift up. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Santiago, and Carmen. Again, thank you. I'm so happy to see you flourishing throughout our community in all different ways, and honored to have a piece of you, at home. But very, very happy to see this, and I'm looking forward to June 11th and seeing the unveiling of this project, and then also in September for the Esplanade. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. I was a bit nervous, but you guys all made me feel comfortable. Thank you so much.
You did great. You did great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, Angel, if we could move on with our agenda. And Xavier and Jean, you still have your hands up, so just wanted to acknowledge that you didn't have another question. Okay.
Yeah, so was she requesting a letter of support or just a motion of support? I couldn't recall because I'm connected over my phone and it was garbled at one point.
So I believe that it was I believe that she was just sharing information out on the unveiling because that's taking place. My ask was that she share, if she has a flyer information, that she share that with us.
Okay, I'm looking at the discussions and presentation and just said request for a letter of support. So I didn't know if the committee was going to take a motion. So it's just a point of clarification. Thank you.
So, and Carmen, I'm just, I see that you are still on. I'm just verifying. Did you need us to write something for you to move forward with this, or is this already in play?
Yes, for if possible, both projects, for the Espinal, the Friends of Espinal, the waterfront project, and for the Sonia Sotomayor.
Okay, so you do need a letter. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right. Thank you, Xavier, for bringing that. And I wasn't quite sure from the presentation. So is there anyone who will provide a motion to support both projects presented by Carmen this evening? Giselle?
Yes, I would like to make a motion to support both of Carmen Paulino's requests this evening.
Okay, and do I have a second from a committee member? Okay, Robert Perez, are you seconding?
I second.
Angel, if you could do the roll call, please.
Marissa? Marissa?
Yes. I didn't realize I was sorry.
Giselle?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes.
Vinny? Jenny? Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, so Carmen, and thank you, Xavier, for just noting that as well. You have our full support to move forward with the project, and we look forward to seeing you on June 11th.
Thank you so much. I truly
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, now moving forward with our presentations. Nicola, how are you? Nice to see you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Great.
So,
I have two colleagues on the call with me, Musa, who I can't see on the screen, but I believe he's still here, and Latoya Dennis, Musa co-founder, and Latoya, who is our strategic partnerships director. So we do have a presentation that we can go through quickly and then answer any questions that you may have. Okay, so Musa, are you there? Okay, maybe not. Okay, so hello, everyone.
He's on. He's on. He was muted.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, he's on. It was muted.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi, how are you?
Great.
You can't see me though, right? Or,
I can see you now.
oh, you can? Okay.
Yes, I can see you now.
It's
Okay,
weird
great.
because I normally can see myself, but that's okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Musa Jackson, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Harlem Festival of Culture. But I'm also, I'm a son of Harlem. I was born and raised in East Harlem, and my family's been in Harlem a little over a century. So we're kind of a legacy family there, and still call it home. And and it's kind of cool because growing up in Harlem, you got to sort of, it's such a family, that raised me, I could say. So I've always felt that, even though I have my immediate family, I've had extended family members from the community, and I'm just so proud to be a part of this moment, because if you don't know, I was one of the stars of Summer of Soul, Questlove's film, which it was his directorial debut last year, and it went on to win the Oscar for Best Documentary. And essentially, Quest kind of used it. I was a little boy who attended this amazing festival that happened in 1969 when I was a child. One of the things about growing up in Harlem, a community like Harlem, and having the family that I had, was culture was is at the core of everything that my family was about. So going to this festival was actually the very first memory in my life. And I always believe in destiny and fate, and I would become the anchor for this film, by way of them using my memory and a lot of other memories, but particularly, I guess, myself, to go through my head to sort of talk about this moment in time and what it meant for Harlem, the community, and the fact that this particular festival was filmed in '69, but it didn't get the recognition because of another festival that happened that same year, that same summer, which was Woodstock. And so our festival being, I guess, really the first festival that really showed the nexus. Lin-Manuel, the great Lin-Manuel, and his dad, talk about how, El Barrio, as well as West and East, we were united. Brown and Black communities were united in this particular way for the very first time with a festival like this. I remember and recall that so vividly, inspiring me in my lifelong mission. So when the opportunity came to really bring about the next, to bring about this festival that had not happened since '69, I really jumped on the chance, because I felt like, because of this moment, it really directed my life, affected my life and my career. And I've had a really interesting, wonderful career, specifically in the arts. And I can trace it back to that moment. And I knew that if something like this could affect me and obviously affected others, it could affect this generation. So once the film came out, it got a lot of acclaim worldwide. I knew that this was a moment for Harlem to really kind of say, hey, this was ours, which I say in the film, and why not bring it back? And I, enlisted, two people that I thought were, I didn't even really have to think about it, quite frankly. They were, one, just doing the work in the community. First person who's actually here is Nicola Evans, was the first person that we talked about this. And she's done so much in our community, specifically Harlem, with the businesses. And I said, let's do something that's not only going to be a great musical festival, but also that's going to have social impact. Because a lot of things that were raised in the film at the time is still happening today. Unemployment, what's happening with the youth. Now we have, mental health situations and things like that. So how can we make this a festival that will, really be a 360 approach, where we can, just work with our local businesses as well as, different groups, and partner with them. So Nicola, who I'll hand it off to, is huge in that part, which the business and economic development, and our other partner, Yvonne McNair, is one of the, she's an award-winning events producer. She's put on so many amazing events, from the Essence Festival to Ebony, you know, to the Grammys. So I couldn't think of two people, and they all live in Harlem. They all love the community, to come together and really make this happen. So with that said, I really would love for Nicole to take it from here and just talk about the strategy and, you know, and what this will do for the community.
Sure. So I'll just quickly go through just to give an overview and open it for questions. As you know, as Musa introduced our team, some of our other team members, which we've recently announced in the press, Michael Bivens, who many know from New Edition, and Belle Biv DeVoe has come on as our creative director. We've just confirmed Larry Miller, who within the brand world is tremendous. He's really credited for having grown the Jordan brand to the $5 billion empire that it is. He has come on as a strategic advisor. And then, of course, you see here Nina Flowers, who many know in the community as our publicist, and LaToya, who's on the call. And then we have two additional, Yvette Russell, who many know in the community, as well as Dr. Yolanda, who's overseeing our health equity, and then our events team. So we've got a robust team that we formed because this is a very ambitious project, and we recognize that. Just as Musa said, for us, what was important was that we didn't just deliver an incredible show. That's a given. Yvonne is award-winning, as Musa said, so it's going to be an incredible concert, music festival series, national acts, contemporary, legacy, everything you can imagine, the genres of music. But what was important to us was that the other 11 months of the year, that there was an impact to the community, not just the weekend of the festival. So for us, the culture is obvious, but the commerce and the community component, how do we ensure that there's an impact, economic impact on the businesses? How do we ensure that we integrate them into the activations? And from a social impact perspective, how do we ensure that some of the issues that were raised in the film that are still prevalent today, we are addressing and potentially bringing solutions to the community? So the community engagement piece is really important. So we have a social impact strategy around health equity and youth development that I'll talk about in a few minutes. From a programming perspective, I'll just go quickly. We have a robust programming calendar. In addition to the music festival, which is next summer, we have programming that's happening essentially every month of the year. We kicked it off with the community breakfast, which some of you attended. We have film screenings, we have live music performances, cultural conversation series, which is essentially our moderated discussions or talk back. We have influencer dinners with live music performances. And then of course the festival next summer, and whenever we can create a marketplace, pop-up marketplace opportunity for the businesses, we will do that. Many of our programs will be hosted at our local businesses, wherever we have the opportunity to showcase products, bring in catering, every opportunity we will be engaging the businesses in this. So this is just quickly just the calendar that we have. You can see it's already pretty full, and this is not even the full extent of it, but we essentially we're kicking off our sort of official programming debut for Juneteenth. So we're very excited about that. We have a Black Music Month panel discussion that will be moderated actually by Yvonne with Michael Bivens. You might have seen the announcements recently for the Black Independence Awards. It's our first annual awards dinner where we're going to be really highlighting people in the community who have just been doing the work in various capacities. So we're excited about that. That's going to be on June 18th. And we just started to promote that on our social. And then of course, we've got screenings and some of the other things that I mentioned happening throughout the month. So you'll see a lot of information around that on our social media channels. And then of course, this goes into 2023. You may have seen a lot of the press that we got. We were overwhelmed within 36 hours of the breakfast on April 13th. We had 1.6 billion media impressions, which was insane for us to even wrap our brain around, that there was that much interest worldwide. But excited to see that, because that means that we're really kind of touching a nerve and people really are interested in this festival returning and the impact that we have integrated into the overall strategy. As we said, Yvonne has worked with all of the top talent. So you can expect to see you know, your favorite stars, both like we said, contemporary and legacy, that we'll be bringing to the music concert, as well as some of the live performances that will on a smaller scale take place throughout the year at some of our events and in the park. In terms of our partnerships, of which CB11 and all the community boards will be one. When we first formulated the strategy for this, we knew that we needed to involve the community from the very beginning and in a really impactful way. So the outreach started immediately. And so we were able to get sort of endorsements very quickly from certain leaders in the community, but we started to put together, and this is just a partial list, some of the organizations that we are looking to partner with. And it's really going to be across the board from a city agency perspective, local community organizations, cultural partners, and on the economic development side, many of the merchant organizations. I've worked very closely with Carrie over at Uptown Grand Central when we produce Harlem Restaurant Week and many of the others. So of course, Harlem Park to Park. So we're looking forward to an extensive community partnership program throughout this as well. I mentioned the social impact earlier. Our mission really, we've set up a separate organization, a foundation that is a 501c3 pending status, and two pillars for the mission: health equity, which is really about providing access and resources and education around the major social determinants of health. This program will be run by Dr. Yolanda Lewis-Ragland, who you saw earlier. And then on the youth development side, providing mentoring and apprenticeship opportunities for youth development. So this sort of just gives you an overview of some of the programming strategy that we have under each. But one thing is very important for us to let people know is that this is not a situation where you're going to see just people tabling with, handing out pamphlets at an event and call that sort of impact or equity, health equity. These are impactful programs that are being created under both pillars that will really have deep reach into the community with metrics that we plan to measure over the years. And so we're committed to the diversity, equity, and inclusion. Harlem, of course, is a community that's very inclusive. So we're just excited to be able to bring back this legacy to the community in a reimagined way. It's not the name Harlem Festival of Culture. We changed the name very intentionally because we will be celebrating all things culture for our community, and the Black diaspora and East West Central Harlem will be involved. So we're just excited to be here today to share this with you and answer any questions you may have, for us as we continue to plan for this exciting, historic moment, really. So I'm flying through the presentation because I know you guys have a lot more to do, but if there's any questions, we're happy, to answer those at this time.
So Nicola and Musa, thank you. And Latoya, thank you so much for being here and presenting on this. Now, my second time of seeing this presentation. I actually attended the breakfast, and the excitement that was there around the event was great, and the energy there and so this presentation is actually even showing me more than I think you had, at the breakfast, and a little bit more developed out, which is really good to hear and see that you guys are making progress with this. Very thorough presentation. I would ask, I guess, for all of the pillars of the things that you are looking to do, are you, and I'm assuming this is a yes, but in terms of your outreach to individuals from the community in terms of working and actually spearheading some of these initiatives, how is that going to happen? What's the flow of that? Or what's like the thought process in terms of, yes, you have all these pillars of things that you want to do. How are you then building each of these out to actually do them and get them done within the community?
Sure, absolutely. So the social impact piece, as you saw in the deck, we have two, the leadership is in place with Yvette Russell, who will be the executive director of the youth development, who had over 20 years experience in this space, and Dr. Yolanda as well, over 30 years experience on the health equity and impact side. So the two of them have created really amazing programming strategies. And the first stage of that, and Latoya actually, who has an extensive background in nonprofit development as well, they're developing or will be developing the development plan. And the goal will be to, on the health equity side, Dr. Yolanda will be looking to create a council, a health council, where she is partnering with many of the representatives of the medical profession within Harlem so that the needs assessment can be created collaboratively, and the programming will be done, many of it will be done through partnerships. So some of those conversations have already started in terms of outreach to Harlem Hospital and some of the other organizations that we'll be working with, but it's very much a collaborative process, but starting with a council of members from the community that can be involved in helping shape that on both sides, both on the youth development side as well as the health equity side.
That's good to know, and glad that those conversations have started. Of course, please be sure to keep everyone that is able to, be involved in the know from both sides of our park, right? Sides of our community here. But this is very great, very exciting. I know you had shared with me when Michael Vivens was going to be a part of that. So, and I just saw them in New Jersey. So I'm happy that a great concert. So happy that they will be a part of this, and just that you guys are moving forward with this initiative is great. So are there any other questions regarding this presentation? I see no hands, which means that you guys really covered everything in all parts. That's what that means to me when I don't see any hands. But excited for this to happen and looking forward to the concert and all the things that are moving up. I would also ask if you could share out the information for Juneteenth. That would be helpful. For my job, we're actually putting together a list of activities that people can take part in. And so if you have something that's just specific to that, that would be great to share out with even others that are not necessarily right in our community. So
yes, we'll have graphics soon for that with the programming calendar. And I think the only other thing I'll follow up is obviously we're going through the permitting process. So letter of support, from the community board to support that effort as well. But we'll certainly share the graphics with you for all of the programming. I think that what is the process to send to the community board? Is it just like an info at, or is there a specific email when you have programming to add to your calendar for your e-blasts?
Yeah, so you can actually send it to Angel. I believe you have his email address for when there are blasts that do need to go out specifically.
Okay.
He does a great job of sharing that information, and he does on time drops his email in the chat. Thank you, Angel. And so when that communication does start to go out, we can definitely circulate that for you. And then so following up with your presentation, you are here to ask for a letter of support for the continuation and the development of programming. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So opening the floor up now to committee members for a motion to support the development and ongoing program for the Harlem Festival of Culture. So is there someone that would like to make a motion to support?
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, so motion by Eva Chen, and I just need a second.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. And Angel, can you call the roll, please?
Marissa, Eva's no longer on the board, so Jenny gets the first. You need a second.
Eva, okay. Thank you for showing up. Yes. So Jenny, do I have a second?
Yes, second.
I'm sorry, who was the second? So Jenny, no, you're first.
And Robert had the second.
Robert, okay, great. And then Angel, if you could call the roll, please. Thank you.
Certainly. Marissa Mack,
Yes.
Giselle Malave,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Robert,
Yes.
Vinny, Jenny,
Yes.
motion carries.
Great, absolutely, that's wonderful. So again, Nicola, thank you so much. You, Musa, and thank you so much for presenting. We look forward to seeing what's to come. Please keep us engaged and informed so that we can also be a part of the conversation, and look forward to everything moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Okay, so we are moving forward. Eva, sorry to hear that you are no longer with us, but I'm sure you will be attending our meetings when you can, just for informational purposes. So, but happy to see you either way. Okay, so moving on, Dimitri, thank you so much for waiting, and glad to see you here with us this evening. And I am opening up the floor to you.
All right, thank you so much once again for including us in this panel, I should say, and thank you all for your generous time that you put into all of our community concerns and efforts. I know it's selfless, and I know that the people in the community really appreciate it. And I also am very happy to have followed two great programs, two great panelists that presented great programs that are happening in our community. So it's really wonderful to see a lot of positive things happening in the community. But I'm going to be the Debbie Downer on the panel and provide an update about our plight at Urban Garden Center, which is part of La Marqueta. And some of you may or may not know, there is a large scale construction project being planned here in East Harlem. East Harlem's largest structure, which is the MTA viaduct, a structure that provides zero to our community except for a lot of noise and a lot of ugliness, is poised for rehab. A rehab that has not, the MTA has not given anybody any real indication why it's being done. They've presented some what they call facts in some community meetings. They've also had meetings with politicians and elected officials or what have you in the community and presented their plan, but no facts have been given whatsoever about this. And obviously we're concerned about it as the largest tenant of La Marqueta. We occupy 20,000 square feet under the tracks. In fact, we're the largest entity at all under the tracks besides La Marqueta as an entity. So we occupy 20,000 square feet. We have a very vibrant, alive business. You know, we have a plant business that has been here now since 2010. And we are not strangers to this community. We were in East Harlem for 25 years prior to that on 2nd Avenue between 102nd and 103rd. And my family is from East Harlem. Some of us live in East Harlem, and some of us have lived in East Harlem. We've owned multiple businesses in East Harlem. And we are, you know, a hardworking immigrant family that loves the community and has chosen to stay here. And we are thrilled to be here, but we are really close to getting kicked out of this community. We have received zero assurances whatsoever from the MTA that they'll do anything to make our landlord whole, to move us temporarily somewhere and move us back. And that is a serious concern for us. It's put us in a real economic bind. We just experienced 2+ years of real difficult times running a business during COVID. We had to close down our cafe on 118th and Park. This has not been easy for us. And now all we're doing is watching the nails in the coffin being nailed for us little by little, slowly but surely. So sometime after 2023, they expect to start construction of what I call, you know, the biggest vanity project in history. $330 million of your public money being spent for a project that they haven't explained whatsoever what it's for, except to tell you that they want to keep us safe. And if it's not safe now, why doesn't anybody know? Why are anybody taking the train? They've also made the argument that there's a lot more traffic on this train than was originally designed back in the 1890s. Well, that makes a lot of sense, but just about all infrastructure in New York City is built prior to 1900. In fact, if their logic was that we have to renovate something because it was built in the 1890s, which is one of the facts they present, then just about every building in New York City would have to be raised and rebuilt based on that logic, which I think is kind of ridiculous. So, you know, the fact that we're facing this serious problem, the fact that we're about to basically go out of business at no fault of our own, the fact that the MTA has been, you know, notoriously dishonest. They spend a lot of our money without any explanation. I mean, there's just so many things. And people are just saying, well, it's the MTA. It looks old. It would be nice to see a cement structure. I mean, all these things are unbelievable for me to hear. And if you listen to what they're telling us, which is everything but providing any factual information about really why they're doing this, is you'll notice that the areas, if you go through the literature that they've circulated through our community, you'll find that the areas that they're focusing on are the areas between 115th and 123rd, and then again between 128th, 128th and 131st. All these areas are not occupied by the MTA. So the areas that they're not doing is the areas around the train station and the area between 131st and 132nd that they use as a sort of like a little holding yard / they keep some infrastructure there under wraps. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So all the high priority areas are the areas that they don't occupy. So it just, I don't know. It seems to me that this doesn't pass the smell test. We're not saying that, so I want to also make it abundantly clear. They come in twice a year, inspect the train. It's not like it's not being looked at. They renovate and fix all the time. They just went through a 6-month project of adding more infrastructure to support, supposedly, reinforce the train, and which put our business through hell dealing with that. They have zero respect for us as a business. They have zero respect for this community. I mean, I don't know how many people get off at 125th Street and actually shop in the community. And I know that they claim 100,000 people come in and 100,000 people come out every day. How many of those 100,000 do anything for East Harlem? I could assure you that you could probably count it on 2 hands how many people are literally affected positively by this train. So the fact that this isn't like more of an issue, the fact that this hasn't gotten in front of people like it should, is really bewildering to me and disappointing. And if people, we wouldn't be crying for help if we didn't think we are facing a serious problem. And the folks at the EDC have been very supportive. They've been doing their best to help us. I want to make that abundantly clear. It's not like they're abandoning us. A lot of electeds have reached out. They're asking us questions. They're making us feel comfortable. But the truth is, at the end of the day, we've heard nothing serious, nothing tangible to give us any indication that we'll be in business past 2023. And this is like seriously disappointing. And we really, really are reaching out for help at this point and hoping that people ask some serious questions. Why are you doing this? What is this for? Is this to make it look nicer? I mean, this is what this is about. So and by the way, we're not the only business. Every business in La Marqueta will be affected. Every person that owns any real estate, whether it's residential or commercial, surrounding the tracks in these areas will be 100% affected. You'll already see the effect that the construction project on 112th and Park has done. It's shut down Park Avenue for a period of time. Think about if Ascendant builds a building on 119th and Park, where the police station parking lot is, and L&M builds a building on the opposite side of Park, and this construction project are all going on at the same time. Nobody's going to be having a good time on Park Avenue or near Park Avenue between 115th Street and 123rd Street for sure. And if this is all somehow to benefit us, I'd love to know how many people occupy that or use that train in our community and actually go downtown with that or go up to Westchester on a daily basis. I'm not saying it's not useful to get up to Westchester or get up into upstate New York and what have you. I'm not saying that there isn't a use for the train. I'm not saying that we should stop this from happening. It's going to happen no matter what I say, but we're affected. We should at least be made in some way whole, not directly to our landlord, which is the city of New York. The city of New York should be financially supported to move and put back a business and businesses. And there are small parking garage operators that are below the tracks that are affected, among other things. I mean, there are so many ancillary problems related to this. It's unbelievable. And people are just like, oh, well, the MTA said it's okay. Well, I mean, can you set your watch on the MTA? Because I know I can't. I mean, I know how many times I've been late to meetings. I know how many times they've disappointed us. I know how many times that I've been affected by crime dealing with any of their entities. And all of a sudden, when it comes to this project, they were just like, oh yeah, it's you know, we think it's great. They're trying to do something. They're trying to lower the noise, but they haven't told you how much noise they're lowering. They're currently operating at 110 decibels a train. That's 20 decibels higher than an ambulance. I mean, that's unbelievable. They should go, if they drove at 25 or 30 miles an hour in a residential community, which is what East Harlem is, they would actually lower the decibel rate. They're not doing that because they got to rush everybody down to 42nd Street, rush everybody up to 125th Street and get out of town. So it's just like unbelievable. And then people say, well, I see cracks, I see this. Well, of course, you see cracks in sidewalks. I mean, the steel structure has cement, and of course cement is going to crack over time. But that's not the problem. They think it should look better, they said, with sustainable materials. You don't think steel from 1890 is sustainable? I mean, it's still here, right? I mean, so you painting it brown, just paint it white. I mean, do something different, but there's no reason to disrupt the whole community and put us out of business because they want to make it look a little nicer. It's just kind of ridiculous. So I'm really hoping that we can get some support from somebody that has any influence in dealing with this problem and get them to give us some concrete answers other than to say, we're doing our best to support small business during this process. I mean, it's not enough. I'm sorry. And thank you for your
Dimitri, thank you so much. I thank you for advocating on behalf of your business, which is what you have to do, on behalf of community, on behalf of everyone that's under the viaduct. I do want to make a point to you that in terms of what the board has been doing, it has not just been sitting back and saying that this is just happening and this is just taking place and not doing anything. As a matter of fact, I did have a conversation with MTA earlier this week and did ask specifically about what they're doing or what has been going on under the viaduct in terms of conversation. So that's just to be clear that we're not sitting, and this is not just for me, I'm speaking for others who have also advocated on behalf of the businesses under the viaduct, that we're not just sitting up and just saying this is happening and so what. So just want to say that, okay? And then also just want to mention that questions have been asked behind the scenes as to what's going to happen or what has been offered to the businesses that are under the viaduct. My understanding is that a portion of, so I'll take a step back, right? Yes, there is the need to ask the question, what specifically is the need? Why do we have to do this? What have you, right? Aside from that question though, if this does need to move forward, the question is what has been done to support the businesses that do need to move. My understanding is that there has been communication with EDC as well, who is also a player in ensuring that everyone under a certain catchment area does have another place to move. May not be convenient, but that has another place to move while the construction is taking place, and then will be relocated to their current position once the construction is over, right? So that's that. Whether it's something that is wanted, yes, it would be inconvenient. That is an option that was presented. Is that correct or is that incorrect? Is that something that you've already had a discussion with EDC about, or has that not happened to date?
So yes, the EDC has told us that they basically are in discussion with the MTA about all of this. However, there is no indication when we're going to move. There's no indication how long this is going to be. There's no indication whether they're going to actually pay for it or not. There's no indication how much warning they're going to give us. So for instance, like the number 60 has come up. 60 days notice to move a 20,000 square foot business to a smaller location, okay, which is like, honestly, just unbelievable. I mean, I don't know, like if it took, let's say 5 years for them to plan just to get to this point, like they took 5 years, maybe longer. I mean, the rumor is they've been working on this in 2013. For me, I don't know about any of you that's ever run a business, but How do you do anything on 60 days notice?
So
I mean,
I
people
agree.
can't plan a
So,
vacation in
okay,
60
so
days
that's
notice.
fine. You don't have to plead your case there. I completely agree. That's not enough. It's not enough time, especially for the scale of your business, to move into another location that you're unsure of, right? So then here are the questions to ask, right? And then here are the ways to, try to figure out like what to do. So let's start at the fact that there have been conversations, right? That you haven't just been abandoned and you don't know anything at all, right? So it may not be the scope of everything that you need to know at this time, but there have been conversations. The question now for you is, how is this going to be done? What's the time frame? Where will you be and how will you be compensated for this move? I'm assuming that those are the questions that you have at this time, if this is going to move forward, right? Because yes, we have the fight of, is this going to happen or can we push back on that? If it is moving forward, I'm assuming that those are the questions that you have up front.
Well, there's some other things going on in the background. I just want to tell you, I mean, so while this so-called good faith discussion is happening, which is a good faith discussion that I'm not a party of, by the way. So all of this is happening with other people making those decisions for us. So we don't even have a seat at the table. I almost
have you not spoken, but have you spoken to EDC and MTA? I'm not saying that's happening behind the scenes.
I've never spoken to the MTA about this,
Have
ever.
you spoken to EDC? Who?
Of course, they're my landlord. Of course, I've spoken to EDC. However, that's not how this works. I mean, in other words, if you're expecting us to, like, it's hard to explain, but we're running a business, we're an entity, we're a tenant, we're affected by a third party. I'm not affected by my landlord, I'm affected by a third party. We should have a seat at the table. We should be on every monthly meeting at Friends of La Marqueta. We should be invited to all the stakeholder meetings, which we've never been invited to any stakeholder meeting. So in other words, it's disingenuous to say that we're a party to this and we have information that's hearsay. I haven't heard this come out of anybody's mouth specifically. In fact, the people I speak to at the EDC aren't even at the meetings. It's lawyers at a meeting. And so what I'm getting at is that for people to say that, yes, we've heard something or something has been spoken or there's been a meeting, how do we know what's been said actually at a meeting?
Okay, that's it. So that's a separate issue. That's separate from, I don't know anything, right?
No,
so,
no,
right?
I don't know about that. But no, it's not. It's 100%. I don't know anything, because it's like it's like playing telephone. Well, I know there was a meeting. I can't tell you when it happened. I'm not allowed to tell you who was in attendance, and the subject of the meeting wasn't. I'm not privy to that.
I'm not talking about the stakeholder meeting. I'm just saying engagement overall. That EDC has been in contact with you, right?
We're talking about.
And let me just say this: that I'm not minimizing your concern. Everything that you have stated, I believe, is valid. You need to know this is your business. You need to know how you're going to move, where you're going to move, how this is going to impact you with a greater amount than 60 days. Everything that you're saying, in terms of needing to know for your business, I completely agree with. The question here, though, is how can we have a fruitful conversation about what needs to happen with the amount of time, where you're going to move, and you having the information that you need to know if this is going to move forward in terms of what you can do with your business or what's going to happen with your business. So we need to, like, I know you have there are a lot of concerns. You have the noise, if there's going to be buildings that are built there, what it's going to do for all these different areas. Those issues have also been brought up to the presentations around some of the developments that will go up and how it will impact the community that's existed. But let's focus in on that issue in regards to your business and what you need to know in regards to that. So tonight, in terms of your ask for us, because I will say again that we're not just beat up happening.
Okay.
Your name has been brought up. So we do recognize that you are a huge entity under there. For tonight, what is your ask of us?
Well, then you just revealed to me that you had a conversation with the MTA. What specifically did you guys discuss about us? So in other words, what did they tell you? I mean, did they tell you?
So at the beginning of this call, I said, I mentioned that I spoke with them and asked them specifically about what the conversation has been. And I said that EDC has been in conversation with you in regards to what those options are. I have not been in contact with EDC. I do not know what that conversation was, but in speaking to you, you said you have.
No, the MTA I'm talking about, the MTA. The MTA, what exactly?
Yeah. Okay. So
let me ask
I don't know what else to say.
How about this? Let me reverse it. why can't we be in the same room with the MTA? Okay, virtually or in person, which
Sure.
we've never been. Why can't we ask? So my ask of you is, why can't we broker a meeting that somebody from the MTA is present, that's willing? So every meeting that I've been invited to, they haven't been present. Did you know that? For instance,
So-
I'll give you an example. Friends of La Marquette invited us to a meeting, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, MTA decides they're not available to be at the
So
meeting.
Dimitri,
So why
so
is that? That's
it's
that's
fine.
called,
So
that's
I'm
called
answering your question
weird.
before you go into it. Well, I can
Yeah.
open that up. I'm
Yeah.
not MTA, so
Well, I hear
but
you.
I can
I
open
know.
that up. So that's the answer to that question right there.
Yeah, just invite us to a meeting.
Okay. So
Let us ask the questions. They're afraid of the questions because we have
so
a
we're
history
gonna move
of
forward
dealing
with
with
that.
them.
So your
That's all.
ask was if you can have a seat at the table, let's see how we can have a productive conversation.
Correct.
And I can ask if that can happen. There's the answer. I can't say, yes, MTA is gonna do this. I can ask if they can have that question. I can't imagine why not. But I can ask that question. So that's the answer to your question. Is there another ask?
No, I mean, we're just asking to have a seat at the table so we can advocate for ourselves, ask the
And
right
very-
questions. And we're not asking for money. We're not asking for anything, favors. We're not asking for a thing. We actually just want to, like I said, the forces are at work. It's going to happen.
That's
We
fine.
are
And so I would
facing-
also offer that we have a
That's that.
conversation and include EDC as well, since they're the landlord. You can't really X them out of the conversation. If anything, it should be
Everybody
all
should
the players that have
Everybody should be
influence.
there.
Yeah, okay,
Absolutely.
great. So let's
Yeah,
try to
everybody.
move forward with that.
Okay, great. I love that.
Okay,
I
great.
appreciate it.
I
Thank you.
am going to entertain a question now, and then we can get to specifically your ask so that we can move forward. Jenny.
Hey, I raised my hand and I can't figure out how to unraise it on my phone. So I don't exactly have a question, or the question I had earlier was very much about the ask and just really focused on the solutions here. And I just wanted to express support for you, Marissa, who's been such a great advocate for small businesses. And just Dimitri, I would just encourage you, like, I love your business. I love Urban Garden Center. I am so grateful that it's here. I think everybody here feels the same way. And so kind of like we're on your team, like we are very much just want to advocate for you however we can. Know that we are just trying to figure out how that happened. Like I wish for you that I was the head of the MTA. We are not. So in our limited way, we're able to do things like ask to get you a meeting perhaps, but just focusing on that and not bringing in perhaps a lot of the history and stuff, I think would be really just, I would just request that as a committee member that you just kind of focused on those kinds of very concrete solution oriented things and just kind of give my vote of confidence specifically in Marissa, having worked with her for years now on this committee, and she will absolutely do everything that she's saying that she will do. And as a committee, we will also support her as well. So just more of a statement than a question. I'm gonna try to still figure out how to put my hand down,
Your hand is down, but thank you so much, Jenny. I appreciate that. And Dimitri, also just reiterating that we are supporting you, like we are with you. We also want a solution. We want to know what's going to happen to Urban Garden. And many of us do, shop there and patronize your business. So this is not this is not a heat up, whatever happens to Urban Garden happens. We do want to, come to a solution and help you in this process. Okay, so that is what we will do. And the outcome of this is we will see how we can have a meeting with those players to talk about what's going to happen and ensure that if this is moving forward, that you have the appropriate time to move, and then you have the support, the financial and other support that you need to do that. Okay, is that fair? Yes. Okay.
No, listen, I also want to clarify something. The history that I brought up wasn't more so to educate anybody that's new to this subject, not necessarily to engage in some kind of saber rattling and what have you. It's really, we need to make people understand that this is not just this is a funeral that we're all going to attend one day if it's not handled correctly. And that's, and we're the people dying of some malicious, some kind of disease here in a sense. If you look at it from that point of view, we're crying out for help. We are definitely emotional about it. I'm not some big giant company that has, all these people managing my outreach. We need to get in front of you and let you know that we're passionately concerned, emotional, and very worried. And time is running short because all of this stuff is all about time. And time is
Understood.
now
So
running out.
Dimitri, if we could move forward with your
Sure.
specific ask, that would be extremely helpful.
No problem. So my ask is, let's set up a meeting. That's it. That's all we want. Just a meeting.
Okay, so I don't know
One
that we need a
meeting.
letter of support, and Angel or Xavier, please, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we need a letter of support to ask for a meeting with EDC and MCA. But please feel free to jump in. If that's something that, if there's another protocol for doing that.
You don't need a letter for that.
I'm sorry?
You do not need a letter to request a meeting.
Okay, yeah. So, Dimitri, this is something, I appreciate you coming to present. We would not want to not hear from you. So, and we want to hear, how you feel about this topic. Again, we do support you. We support your business. You guys are a vital member of this community. We will on the back end, and this is recorded, okay? We will on the back end, connect the appropriate players, being MTA and EDC, on an email to see how we can have a conversation about what's going on, transparency, where you'll be moving, what the process is. Again, I do not represent MTA. I do not represent EDC. I will do what I can on my end to facilitate that and that happen for you. But again, those will be our efforts from the community to ensure that you and other businesses under the viaduct have information about what's going on and how this is moving forward, if it's moving forward. That is
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really do.
All right, thank you. Thank you for presenting
Thank
and
you.
advocating for your business. That's what you're supposed to do. So
Thank you.
yeah. Okay, so we are moving on with our agenda this evening. So is there any old business that anyone would like to mention or present this evening? Okay, I don't see any hands. Any new business? Upcoming events or anything that anyone is working on or doing?
As usual, I'm trying to raise my hand.
Oh, okay. Well, it's funny because I saw you come on and I was like, I don't know if that's her raising her hand in another way. So
I'm sorry. I'm like on the go trying to figure out, but whatever.
So Jenny, please go ahead. Yes, thank you.
I just wanted to share with everyone actually a bit of a life update that that I think relates to this committee. I'm actually just started a role as the Assistant Vice President of Business Development at Brooklyn Navy Yard. And it's a really, I'm just super excited to be there, but a lot of the work that I do with them is very similar to the work that I do here. And I just find my experiences dovetail so nicely with the kind of things I've been sort of able to join these past several years. So this weekend, just a very concrete example, this weekend we're having a spring market, a bunch of vendors are coming, and there's a couple of Harlem businesses that somehow got fed into the pipeline. So I've been talking to them, and one of them lives in East Harlem, et cetera, et cetera. So I have nothing concrete right now for anyone, but I just want to kind of put it on everyone's radar that in my professional life, I've now transitioned to a job at the Brooklyn Navy Yard that actually I think would be beneficial for this committee and our local businesses. And I'm looking forward to starting to think about partnerships and some of the ways that my work can start to weave together my my volunteer activity here with my professional activity on the yard.
Love it. And I am always saying, like, the board is, we're doing this as a service. So if it can touch multiple points in your life, that's out, in addition to serving the community, please let it do that. And that's for anyone on this call. You should be advocating for the community, but then also there are ways for you to connect other people and to also help and elevate them that's outside of the board. And there's nothing wrong with that. So Jenny, looking forward to hearing more about your role, and if there's at any point a presentation that you want to do about, what you're doing or ways that you can connect businesses, I think that would be great. And then of course use your network here, Carrie, Carrie, Pablo, Jackie, even though she pulled on all of our resources here, go at it. So congratulations to you, and thank you for being a member of our committee. You've been great.
Thank you.
Not that you're going anywhere, but thank you. You've been great.
Exit left. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Chair Xavier.
So not more under the announcements segment, new kind of the Open Streets program is coming back this summer over at 101st in Lexington. Carrie is running point on that. We're working together. I have a conversation happening tomorrow with Orrin Everhar, who is the developer of the Children's Aid Mount Sinai site right there on the corner. And we're going to have a discussion on the programming and whatnot and what his plans are when demo will be happening, but that will affect the local businesses. As you've had several groups come and apply for closing up the streets. So stay tuned. She would have given the fuller debrief, but I hope to see you out there this summer. So thank you for a great meeting. Be well, be safe, and take care. And any of our new board members that are attending, we welcome you all.
Thank you, Xavier. Thank you so much. I have not seen a list yet, so apologies that I have not welcomed any new members to the committee. I don't know who's public and who's not, but welcome anyone, no matter what role you're playing. Tamika.
Thank you so much. I don't know if y'all knew, but the People's Church is turning 100 years old this weekend. So they have on Saturday from 3 to 6, they're going to be doing a film screening. And then from 7 to 9:30, they're going to have salsa concert. And then on Sunday, they're going to have worship at 12:30. And then 2:30 to 6 o'clock, they're going to have a block party. And that's on East 111th and Lexington Avenue. That used to be the Young Lord's Church. So I just wanted to put that on your radar.
Thank you, Tamika. Do you have a do you know if there's a flyer as well for that, or?
Yeah, I can send it to Angel and them right now.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let me see. Are there any other hands? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So thank you all for a great meeting. Yes, Angel, I see you moving forward. Let's do the roll call.
No, I didn't mean to do that. I was just clicking my other screens around.
Okay, we are ready to move forward. So thank you all. I actually just real quick, I just want to make a note, circling back with Jenny and her announcement, but if there's anyone that's on the committee that is doing something or wants to do something else, again, Jennifer Meyer will represent us in our task force that's coming up, which is great. Jenny has been helping us with just ensuring that we are following up with certain people that present. But as members, if there are things that you want to do or things that you're passionate about that you want to work on specifically within our committee, please let me know. And we can figure out a way to involved in that area. So just wanted to make that note. And also just want to say goodbye to Eva. Thank you so much for all of your work. I don't know that you were on the call earlier, but I had a call with Stacey Marius earlier today. And she had mentioned that she was doing a lot of work with you. So I don't know if you were telling me not to share that, but no, but she was giving you praises, and so just wanted to say thank you for all of your work. I know you'll still be working and serving the community, but just wanted to say thank you so much.
Thank you. Sorry, I have to leave New York City. But thank you for the board and everything that you guys are doing. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, Angel, thank you. We are ready for the roll call now.
Marissa Mack.
Here.
Giselle Malave. Jennifer Meyer.
Here.
Robert
Sorry,
Perez.
here.
That's okay. You don't have to be sorry.
Here.
Vinny. Jenny Tropsky.
Here.
Quorum.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good evening. The meeting is adjourned at 8:08 p.m. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your night. Good night, everyone.
Good night.